Hello everyone, my name is Jack and this is Homebrew Heroes, where I share with you all some homebrew content for the game Dungeons and Dragons. Today I'll be going over some options for playing as and fighting against some of the creatures from the wonderful world of Pokemon. If you're interested in these guides, the links to those can be found in the description below. With that said, let's catch them all. In the Pokemon games, you've always played as a Pokemon trainer, traveling around the region and catching a variety of Pokemon to train, evolve, and even solve mysteries. However, in Dungeons and Dragons, you can not only fight them in the wild, but you can also play as one too. XBubba1995 on Reddit has created a compendium that lets you play as 35 Pokemon, 73 Pokemon if you include their evolutions. Each of these Pokemon are separated by their type and gain stats based on that type. The 10 types to choose from are Grass, Fire, Water, Normal, Ground, Fighting, Electric, Psychic, Dragon, and Dark. Sorry Bug-type fans, we'll figure out how to play as a Shuckle and a Beedrill someday. They'll also have specific traits based on the Pokemon of your choice. For example, Charmander will have the Guiding Light trait due to its tail, while Torchic will have the Peck trait, letting it attack with its beak. Some Pokemon will even obtain other types, like Bulbasaur, who is a Grass and Poison type, letting it gain resistance to poison. But because the types are here, so does their strengths and weaknesses. Grass type Pokemon are weak to fire types are weak to water types, and water types are weak to lightning types. All the Pokemon that can be played as can evolve. Evolution works similar to the games here, as most of the Pokemon can evolve into a new Pokemon at a certain level. Some of the Pokemon, like Eevee, can evolve with a specific item, like a Thunderstone or a Dawnstone. However, it's up to the player if they want to evolve into a new Pokemon, not the DM. If you want to stay as a Pikachu or a Squirtle all the way to level 20, you can totally do that. Eevee is the unique one when it comes to evolutions. You can evolve into all 7 types of Eevee, from Vaporeon to Sylveon. But you'll lose your normal type traits and gain the traits based on your evolution. You'll also gain a cantrip to cast based on your evolution, like Jolteon gains Lightning Lore and Espeon gains Mage Hand. I won't go over every type of Pokemon and trait in this guide, but I'll highlight each Pokemon you can play as and their types' benefits. Starting with the grass types don't have that many combat features, but they'll gain some nice traits that connects them to the world around them. Living Nature gives them proficiency to nature, and solar power lets them sustain themselves with just sunlight. The grass type Pokemon to choose from are Bulbasaur, my favorite, Chikorita, Trico, Turtwig, Snivy, Chespin, Rowlet, and their evolutions. Most of them have the Vine Whip trait, which lets them carry weapons and items with vines, which is helpful since some of them don't even have hands. Fire types are a force to be reckoned with, never backing down from a challenge. As I said earlier, fire types have a resistance to fire and cold damage, but they are weak to water. Whenever you move through 15 feet of water or get dunked by 3 gallons of water, you'll take 1 acid damage. If you're playing a campaign on the high seas, I would recommend avoiding playing as a fire Pokemon in general. It's a bad idea. The fire type Pokemon to choose from are Charmander, Cyndaquil, Torchic, Chimchar, Tepig, Fennekin, Litten, and their evolutions, which includes everyone's favorite Pokemon Charizard. Charizards are part flying type, which means you'll gain a flying speed of 40 feet. Water types are the most common type of Pokemon to find, especially in the Hoenn region, but they are strong and act as guardians for other Pokemon. Water types are amphibious, so they gain a swim speed of 30 feet, and they can learn some water type spells like Shape Water and Create Food in Water. They gain a resistance to fire damage, but they are vulnerable to lightning damage. The water type Pokemon to choose from are Squirtle, Totodile, Mudkip, Piplup, Oshawott, Froakie, Popplio, and their evolutions. Squirtle and his Squirtle Squad gain a +2 bonus to their AC thanks to their shell, and Oshawotts can use their Seashell Sword to fight off their foes. Normal types are well-balanced Pokemon, not too strong, but not too weak either. They gain the trait I Ain't Afraid of No Ghosts, which lets them gain resistance to damage that undead creatures deal to you, except for necrotic, psychic, force, or radiant damage. They'll also gain some special type moves, like Guidance, Long Strider, and Jump. The normal type Pokemon to choose from are Meowth, Eevee, Baneri, and their evolutions. Sorry Bidoof fans, he's too broken to be in this game. He will be missed. Ground types are durable Pokemon that avoid water like the plague. They are vulnerable to water, just like fire Pokemon, but they gain an immunity to lightning damage, just like in the games. The ground type Pokemon to choose from is Sandshrew, Cubone, and their evolutions. These ground Pokemon are unique as they can start off with weapons. Sandshrew can fight with their claws, and Cubone has a bone weapon to fight. Cubone also has a trait called Skull Mask, which grants it a skull of a dead Pokemon to wear on its head to gain special bonuses. Thanks Mom for the mask. Fighting types are the best when it comes to, well, fighting. They have a +2 bonus to damage rolls with melee weapons, and to gain some special moves like Resistance, Compelled Duel, and Wrathful Smite. Although their weaknesses to flying and ground types don't transfer to D&D, they do retain their vulnerability to psychic damage, so I wouldn't recommend sending them off to fight some Mind Flayers. The fighting type Pokemon to choose from are Machop, Rilo, and their evolutions. Rilo is perfect for the Monk class, as their trait Force Palm increases their unarmed strikes from a D6 to a D8 when they evolve to a Lucario. Electric types are full of energy and shocking potential. They are resistant to lightning damage, and they learn the moves Lightning Lure, Thunder Wave, and Thunderous Smite. The only electric Pokemon you get to choose are Pichu, Elekid, and their evolutions. Since Pichu is weaker than most Pokemon, it has to feature weak electricity, which slightly reduces any lightning damage it deals. Don't worry though, it'll lose this trait once it evolves at level 4 to Orion Reynolds. Psychic types are weak physically, but they are powerful mentally. They are resistant to psychic damage, and they have advantage against being charmed. They'll gain some utility spells like Message, Comprehend Languages, and Detect Magic. The psychic Pokemon to choose from are Abra, Ralts, and their evolutions. Both of these Pokemon can teleport 60 feet away as a reaction if they are attacked. Ralts is part Fairy type, so it gains advantage on saving throws against spells and effects caused by Dragon Pokemon. Speaking of which, Dragon types are territorial Pokemon that take a long time to evolve, just like in the main games. They are resistant to fire damage, but they are vulnerable to cold damage. They'll also get some moves like Thaumaturgy, Cause Fear, and Compelled Duel. The Dragon type Pokemon to choose from are Gible, Axew, and their powerful evolutions. I do want to give out a warning about them though. They evolve at levels 9 and 16, so it might take an entire campaign before they'll reach their final form. But once they do, it's totally worth it. The final type are the Dark types. These are Pokemon that like to hide from others. It's easy for them to do that since they'll have the moves Minor Illusion, Disguise Self, and Silent Image under their belts. They'll keep their immunity to psychic damage, and they gain advantage on stealth checks in the dark. The Dark type Pokemon to choose from are Sneasel, Zorora, and their evolutions. Zorora and its evolution Zoroark maintain their Disguise Self spell for up to 8 hours, perfect for any roguish activities. This guide also contains items from the Pokemon and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. You can use Firestones and Thunderstones to evolve certain Pokemon, and use orbs like the Orb of Evasion and the Orb of Hurl to cast Blur and Catapult. There's also a Pokemon deity list in case if you want to worship a Pokemon as a god. All 25 of them are legendary Pokemon, such as Arceus, Celebi, Mew, and Zekrom. It's got everyone here, except for the Prophet Bird Jesus and Sea King. Bubba's Guide lets you play as 73 Pokemon, but if you're looking for more options, I got you covered. Say hello to the Pokemon race no one has asked for, Quagsire.
Can only be caught after you defeat them in max rate battles.
Number 195 on the Pokedex, this 165-pound water ground type Pokemon is easygoing and tends to bump its head on the hulls of boats when it swims. What a perfect Pokemon to play as for such happy campaigns like the Curse of Strahd. Quagsires gain a +2 bonus to Constitution and the trait Iron Tail, which lets it use its tail for unarmed strikes. There are 3 sub-races for the Quagsire. Blue Quagsire are the most common form of Quagsire. They gain a +1 bonus to Wisdom and the trait Muddy Water, which lets them exhale a 15-foot cone of water that can push creatures away and put out fires. Mountain Quagsire are Quagsire that live up in the mountains and caves. They gain a +1 bonus to Strength and a climbing speed of 25 feet. The Royal Quagsire are Quagsire that crossbred with Pokemon like Lapras and Dragonite. They gain a +1 bonus to Dexterity in the trait Ice Beam, which grants them the cantrip Ray of Frost. If you want to encounter Pokemon out there in the wild, then these upcoming guides are for you. Canis Wolfman24 on Reddit has taken all of the Pokemon from the Kanto and Johto regions and converted them into D&D creatures. Each Pokemon from Bulbasaur to Celebi have their own stats, actions, reactions, challenge ratings, everything you need to drop them into any campaign. Legendary Pokemon like Mewtwo and the legendary dogs are here as well, ready to fight against or alongside you. Most of the Pokemon here are monstrosities, so rangers and druids can't recruit them or wild shape into them. But if you work it out with the DM, I'm sure no one will mind if you could transform into an Arcanine or roam the woods with a Pikachu on your shoulder. The final guide is for those that want to use some more unique Pokemon in their campaigns. Pokemon Fusions by ALVIG on Reddit has created some new Pokemon by fusing two Pokemon together. Combine Aerodactyl and Moltres into Aerotress, Beedrill and Pidgeot into Bebot, or Charizard, Machamp, and Steroids into Charchamp. Each of these 16 nightmares come with their own stat sheet and a description of how they fit into the Forgotten Realms. For example, Starhorn, a cross between Staryu and Rhyhorn, are Earth Elementals from the elemental plane of Earth. The crystal that's in his face is considered to be a delicacy, and they are hunted for it. So if you want to get rich quick, go find a Starhorn and go rip its face off. That is horrifying to think about. Some of the highlights include Nidonine, a cross between Nidoking and an Arcanine, Genion, a cross between a Gengar and a Vaporeon, and Gaschan, an evil spirit of a monk that is a cross between a Ghastly and a Hitmonchan. Thanks, I hate it! With that, those were just some of the ways of adding the wonderful and fucked up Pokemon into your campaign. Let me know in the comments your thoughts of these guides. Were they balanced? What Pokemon would you like to play as? Anything like that. Also, let me know of other homebrew you'd like me to go over in the comments below as well. The links to these guides can be found in the description below. Thanks for watching everyone. Be sure to like and subscribe for more homebrew content and other things Pokemon. Till next time, bye.